Hey guys, I never expected to be here today to talk to you guys what I'm about to get ready to talk to you guys about. I never wanted to talk about this for many reasons. I think the biggest reason is to protect the most important people in my life, which is the mother of my kids and my kids. But I have been left with no choice. I'm feeling all type of emotions right now. I'm sad. I'm mad. I feel that I've been blindsided. Blindsided because, as you guys know, and what you guys have seen for the past year and a half, Catherine and I have the best co-parenting situation that any parent can ever ask for. We actually have a better relationship now than we did when we were married. I look at Catherine as a best friend, someone that I talk to every day, not just about our kids, but about life. She called me last week about her boyfriend, how he had a homeless guy sleeping in his car. I was just over her house bringing the kids pizza, not just the kids, but her and her boyfriend pizza. We were all sitting in her living room eating the pizza, laughing and smiling. And then the next morning is when the snippet of her book comes out, and it talks about how I'm a terrible person and how I was a terrible husband. Not once did she ever come to me and talk to me about this book. Yes, I was aware she was writing this book for the past however long. And I actually congratulated her when I first found out she was writing a book, because obviously I had no idea what the book was about. I just was very proud of her that she was doing something new and something for herself. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Catherine recently just released a snippet of her book that she wrote alongside a professional author that helped her write this book. And the book was manipulated, and she did not tell the full truth, which is why I'm here today to tell you guys the full truth and to tell you guys what really happened. I don't know about you guys, but I find it very odd that the first chapter of her book is about me and not about her. It's about me and how I was a terrible person and terrible husband, when this book is supposed to be an autobiography about her life. It could have been about anything else. She talks about her family in the book. She talks about ayahuasca. She talks about her new guy. But she wanted to use me in this snippet to reel everybody in for clickbait and to monetize from the book. Usually when someone writes an autobiography about their life, it starts with, hey, my name is. Not Dolores. That's definitely not how she started. And that's why I feel like it was a setup. Reason why I say a setup is because when we went through our separation and we decided to announce it to the world, her and I were trying to figure out what was the best way of doing it. I felt the best way of doing it was coming out with a YouTube video together, her and I side by side. And I even told her that, hey, I'll do all the talking. I'll take full accountability for my actions and all the mistakes that I've made. I said, you don't have to say anything if you don't want. Even though you've made mistakes and I've made mistakes, I'll go ahead and take all the blame. She didn't want to do that. So it left me with no choice but to make my own video. I decided to make my own YouTube video, and in that video, I basically exposed myself. And it's crazy because I still have that video today, which I'm going to show you guys right now. Here's the video. The video is over 30 minutes long, so obviously I'm not going to share the whole video, but I'm just going to share a short snippet to show you guys that I did make this video. It caused me to seek it elsewhere. It caused me to make bad decisions. I admit, I've failed as a husband. So, as you guys can see, it was 30 minutes of the video of me just exposing myself. And I obviously shared that video with her to get her approval before posting it. And long story short, she didn't want me to post it. And this is what she had to say about it. I also want you guys to know that I'm gonna have receipts throughout this entire video. And the reason why I have some of these receipts is because I knew that one day there was a possibility of something like this happening. And you guys have seen it time and time again, where couples break up and there's always some sort of exposing. And so I just wanted to be able to have my own truth just in case something like this happened. And this is why I have certain recordings. So as you can see the date on here, I filmed that video on June 12th, which was a week before we announced our separation on Instagram. Here is a recording which was on January 13th, which was the day after I filmed this video. And this was her response on why she felt I shouldn't post the video.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, but do I have to worry about like you like saying something like after and stuff? So I'm basically asking her like, what is okay for me to say? She showed me her statement that she had, and I was like, okay, well, I had no say in that. You're doing what you want to do. Am I allowed to do what I want to do?
No, you just say
Okay, I'm just
you weren't happy.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Like, say what you said in your video. I just think the video would have been, you would have had a lot of backlash. I think this way is much more organic.
So as you heard what she said that if I was going to release this video, I would get a lot of backlash, as if she cared about me getting backlash. What is happening now? You would expect her to be okay with back then when we were separating at that time, to be okay with me getting backlash or her saying what she needed to say back then. But a year and a half later, you didn't want me to put this video out because you didn't want me to get backlash. Then what's happening now? Why now? So again, I felt set up because she didn't want me to expose myself back then when we were going through a separation a year and a half ago. She wanted to expose me and save it for her book when her book came out to receive monetary value. So here she continues to talk about how she doesn't feel handcuffed anymore and how she is able to move on with her life because she was able to put out the statement that she wanted to put out. She wanted to tell her that was her side of the story. And now I'm basically just asking her if it's okay for me to tell how I feel in my side of the story. And this is what she proceeds to say. Okay, it's good. That's good.
Because now I'm finally.
So I'm saying, okay, but I'm saying, I'm glad you're saying that.
But I do.
So you don't have to keep going, reverting back to.
But I do agree. What you're saying is that you don't want to feel like you're being attacked in any way or like I'm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep worried about you,
I don't want you.
Because my concern was that, is she gonna keep bringing me up time and time again for however long? So I'm asking her, hey, if you're gonna continue to do this, then I'm gonna have to do it as well.
I feel like that because I don't want you to worry about that because that's not the case.
Okay,
I want you to know that that's not the case.
I know, but again.
I'm not here.
But
to
again,
thwart you. Because if that was the case, if you really truly think about it, that would have happened years ago. If that was really my way, my.
Yeah, but you know how people are over after breakups. It's like, no, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, right? Would you agree that women are like,
sure, they keep fucked up.
Yeah, they keep fucking being playing the victim. Like,
I fucking can't
oh
stand
my
that shit.
God, that's what I'm saying. She said that I can't stand that shit when women expose their man after they break up. They're fucking weird. That's literally what she said. And that's literally what she's doing now. Okay, so now let's get into the book. She talks about a specific event and a moment in that event to basically define my character and to show that that is proof that I had another girl there that I was supposedly talking to and I was cheating on her with, when that is not true at all. Think about this. Why would I invite another girl there when this whole event is about my family and this event is about me and Catherine's bond? Why would I want that girl to see that? Me hugging and kissing and grabbing my wife's ass. You guys didn't want to show these clips. Me holding my wife's hand. But you guys want to bring up a clip where it was 5 seconds of a video of me giving my speech, and then when I gave Catherine to Mike to tell her speech, I step away for a second to catch my breath because I just got done playing in an hour-long basketball game, and I wanted to catch my breath, and I wanted to wipe the sweat off of my forehead, and then I get right back next to her. She wants to use that specific moment out of all the 10 years we've ever been through anything to define me as a terrible person and a terrible husband. I'll show you the clip just in case you guys didn't see it. It's all over TikTok. But just so if you can see it for yourself. In this clip, it shows you that when I grab the mic to give my speech, my arm is completely around her the entire time. But you guys want to clip the part where I take a step away.
Supported us tonight. Thank you for everyone who watched the live stream. Like we always say, nothing will be possible without the A7. We truly mean that.
My arm is completely around her the whole time I'm talking. But she says that she feels unseen. So then,
Baby, you want to say something?
I give her the mic and I step away for a second, catch my breath and wipe the sweat off my face.
We have the strongest family in the world. The strongest. Oh,
And I'm
for coming out.
And I'm still right there next to her. It's very unfortunate and sad because now she turned one of our biggest moments as a family and as a brand into a mockery. When that was so special to both of us, and it happened because of both of us. Now let's get into the cheating. When it comes to me stepping out of my marriage, I did. I 100% stepped out of my marriage, and it was completely wrong for me to do it. I take full accountability. If I can go back and change it, I would. And I'm sorry for that. I truly am. But when it comes to her acting like she had no idea what was going on, that is a complete lie. Catherine knew what I was dealing with for a very long time. I would come to her and I would voice how I feel about how I felt like I was getting no affection from her. There was a year period where we had no sex, and I would vent to her telling her what I needed. And her exact words verbatim on my kids, she said, "Just don't make me look dumb. Don't embarrass me." I don't know what that means to you guys, but to me, it sounds like, go do whatever you need to do because I'm not capable of giving you what you need. So Catherine tells you guys that back in 2018, 2019, I basically ruined her life because I stepped out of our marriage and she had no idea, when that is not true at all. She knew exactly what I was doing and when I was doing it. So much to where she stayed with me another 5-6 years after that. She continued to film every YouTube video with me after that. She even went as far as defending me, defending my name when people would ask her about me stepping out. Even to where a few months after that event of her being so hurt that a few months later, she even says, I'm her soulmate.
My soulmate, I know for a fact that it's Austin, and I also believe that my life partner is also Austin, which is really interesting because it has a lot to do with my life, my traumas in my past, even in my past life. It has to do with domino effects in my life, and that's why I was brought to Austin, and that's why we manifested each other, and I really feel like...
So someone that is so hurt and so embarrassed and so unseen, a few months later that this video was recorded, you can go and check it out on our YouTube channel, she says that I'm her soulmate and life partner. Someone that is destroyed would never say that. I wasn't even in that video. That was all on her. I wasn't sitting next to her. She did that on her own. At this point, there was rumors that came out, never pictures or videos, because one thing she said was, just don't embarrass me. So I did what I needed to do in private, even though there were still rumors that came out. And when the rumors started coming out, that's when she then really didn't give a fuck. She said many a times in videos, there's a video here where she just doesn't care.
Okay, so nobody knows the truth, the tears and the yelling. Nobody knows what I went through. We're a fucking team, bro. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm sorry.
Give a
like,
shit, she
I'm
said.
not sorry, but I'm sorry. Like, I just don't care. What the hell happened?
Again, she's saying how she just doesn't care, she doesn't give a shit, and she's been through a lot because she knows what she's been through. But we've never shared it. What else could she be talking about that she just doesn't care? We talked about everything in our lives besides our relationship. And there's a reason for that. Up until this point. Regardless of the fact that she knew about it, still does not make what I was doing right. At all. But did I have a reason for why I was doing what I was doing? 100%. If I could go back in time and change how I handled things, I would try harder to help her through the situation that she was going through. And that's what I thought her spiritual journey was doing. When she first came to me and told me that she wanted to do ayahuasca, for those of you who don't know what ayahuasca is, you can look it up for yourself. The research I've done and the friends that told me about it have said it is a legal substance that can cause someone to hallucinate and have you believe something that is not true. Look it up for yourself. And so when she first came to me and talked to me about how she wanted to do ayahuasca, in my head, I was 100% against it. Something that I do not believe in. I believe in God. But because I'm such a supporting husband, I wanted to support her as much as I could. And so I let her seek that journey, and that's what she did. Through her ayahuasca journey, she was telling me how one moment she feels like she's a psychic. The next moment she felt like she was a healer. The next moment she turned me into a mermaid. I was being as supportive as I could. She even went as far as telling me that she was the reincarnated Virgin Mary. And that she no longer wanted to have sex with me and she didn't want to use her body in that way. You guys put yourself in my shoes, and if your significant other told you that they were the Virgin Mary and no longer wanted to have sex with you, what would you do? So as she was getting more connected to the spiritual side, we started growing further apart. And it was really sad because our conversations were only about spirituality and I couldn't relate. And it got so bad to the point where she was doing it once a month. She became addicted. Usually people do it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times in their entire life, but she was doing it once a month. And this is where, during this process and her going out, traveling and going on retreats, she found somebody. And I came across their messages and I didn't know what to make of it. I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't understand it. But she told me that they were friends that met through their spiritual journey on one of these retreats. Just friends. Here are the messages that I came across that I didn't know what to think of it. And that's why I took her word and believed her, because I had no idea what the fuck this meant. What does that mean? What type of language is that? No idea. But as time was going on, it started to show that this is somebody that she was connecting with. And unfortunately, when you guys found out, I found out way, way before then. And so we get a divorce and we go our separate ways. Her new partner moves in with her, and the spiritual journey gets worse. I know you guys know before, when she was doing ayahuasca, when I was living with her, she would do it away from me, away from the kids, and outside of the house, where she would go to a professional. I'm sure you heard of Linnell. She's taken pictures with her. She's praised her. And Linnell was once a family member of ours. And Linnell has been a professional in this field and has been studying this field for damn near 15, 20 years. And when Catherine got her own spot and she was living with her boyfriend, she decided to take Linnell's business away from her, her clientele, and decided to do the ayahuasca ceremonies and her hosting them at her house, in her home where my kids lay their head. And it got so bad. Sorry, I promised myself I wasn't even gonna fucking cry in this video because I'm just angry. It got so bad to the point where good friends of hers came to me and Catherine forced them to do it, just like she forced me many of times, but I turned it down because I didn't believe in it. She forced her friends to do it, and they came to me very concerned because they didn't have a good experience with their ayahuasca journey. And they said, Austin, I'm very concerned, not only for Catherine, but for your kids, because this is where they sometimes sleep. And she has random people that come in and out of her house that she doesn't know, that are all participating in this illegal substance together, that are all hallucinating and having all different types of experiences, that this is not a safe environment. Somehow they found someone in Brazil to help them illegally import this ayahuasca shit. And they've been hosting these ayahuasca ceremonies for the past year at Catherine's house where my kids lay their head. And after her friends came to me and voiced their concern, I knew I really only had two options. Either I get full custody of the kids, or I spend more time with them to protect them. And I think you guys know what option I chose. I never, ever wanted to do that to her. As you guys know, ever since we got together, I've showed so much love to that woman. And that's something that I can never do to her and that I would never do to the kids. But when I hear that she is also educating my kids on what ayahuasca is, and that she is telling me that soon they will be able to experience ayahuasca if they want. And the reason why that is so scary is because here is a photo of all of them in Catherine's house experiencing the ayahuasca journey that they had together. And this boy right here is only 12 years old doing ayahuasca. Mind you, no one here is a professional. No one here has studied ayahuasca for years and years. I don't know if you guys know how dangerous that is, but all it takes is for one bad experience and it changes all of our lives. Not just Catherine. Not just mine, but my kids. And that's something I'll never fuck with, ever. And so I took it in my own hands to have my kids more, try to spend more time with them. And I'm sure you guys seen that. You guys seen that, how hands-on I am and how much they're with me. And I also believe that everything happens for a reason. I was never, ever going to address this. I was never, ever going to talk about this. And I most definitely was always going to protect her in her spiritual journey, regardless if I felt my kids were unsafe. All that being said, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe all of this whole situation happened for a reason because I was never going to address it. Regardless of me knowing that my kids were in an unsafe environment, I was always going to protect her. But I really do hope that this video puts a stop to that shit. And as she continues her spiritual journey, I hope that she can figure out how to do it away from the house and away from the kids in a safe environment. And when it comes to the things that she said about me in that book, I'm going to repeat this one last time. She manipulated that event, and she did not tell the full truth about me stepping out of our marriage. And now you guys know the full truth and why it happened. Again, I'm going to repeat over and over again that I am completely wrong for doing what I did. I take full accountability. I have grown. I am not that person anymore. We're talking 6, 7 years ago. And it just saddens me that someone who is at peace and is enlightened and spiritually woke, that they wanted to take it here. Knowing that this could affect our kids. Knowing that our dynamic will no longer be the same. I hope you guys understand that it's gonna be very difficult for me to be there for her like I was for the past year and a half. Obviously, nothing will change when it comes to me being a father. So again, you guys can take what you want, but I'm gonna continue doing what I wanna do. And this is gonna be the last time I talk about everything. Regardless if she wants to continue to talk about it and continue to write books about me, I'm gonna move forward and focus on myself, because I've done a lot of healing myself. I've grown a lot myself, and I am in a completely new chapter of my life. I appreciate you guys for listening. If you listened all the way through, it does mean a lot. But I'll be back to my regular schedule tomorrow. I'm done talking about this shit.